The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Star Wars A Plague of Shadows campaign. I am the Ravnos Archon, and before we jump right into it, because we get left off in a rather spicy situation, I'm going to let my players introduce themselves and their characters.
I'm Evie Eternal, and I'm playing Synthresia Firewalker.
Hi, I'm Kelly Salvo, he, him, and I am playing Avik Sphere.
I'm Junie Vanish, and I'm playing Norma Bay Mar.
I am Zeus, and I'm playing Nev.
Perfect. Last episode, we opened up with Synthresia and Nev experiencing the planet of Orax. We got to see some of the visions of monsters throwing themselves from a moon onto a planet as it created a kind of gravitational bridge. She explained her vision as best as possible to the rest of the crew, and Nev explained a little bit of the knowledge he had read about a similar planet. They learned that that planet has suddenly wanted to join the Republic, and that Jedi Master Arkajeth is a kind of hero of the Jedi Order who is there to help bridge the gap between this planet and the Republic. But we left off with them reunited as a group because there was a little bit of a split as some people followed certain threads. But Ulic Keldroma, his brother Kay Keldroma, their master Arkajeth, and this group were being attacked by assassins as a heavy fog slowly engulfed the streets. And that's where we're going to pick up. There are these massive winged creatures that have flown overhead. They're kind of like large manta rays. And this is from where the assassins have kind of dropped down. You notice that their primary target is the royal procession at the end of the street. They're more involved in trying to get to them than they are dealing with any of you guys. But you do notice that there's a small group that has kind of splintered off and is trying to hold back the Jedi. And they really haven't taken notice of your group in particular. For the most part, none of you are really armed, so you don't look imposing. The only one that's really armed around amongst you is Silas. But you notice that they're kind of acrobatically moving around, dancing, darting here and there around the Jedi. let's roll initiatives, everybody. And let's see
Fantastic.
what we get to do.
Which I believe is our dex, yes?
It is perception, actually. So some of you are better equipped at that than others.
Ooh, let's go. Explosion.
Nice.
9, 12, 17, 21.
21 for Nev. Nora.
Working on it.
Okay. Sensory 3.
9.
9. Avix.
Sorry, 19.
19. There you go.
11.
All right. 11 for Nora. All right. So I don't think we've done a lot of combat with Star Wars. Just here where we go bottom up. Anyone with a higher initiative can jump in, what's it called? Resetting their initiative to the new number. But we will be seeing what these assassins rolled. Fantastic. Garbage. It's going to be a good night for me. All right,
Is it going to be a better night for us?
We'll find out. I hope some of you have liquor on hand because we're going to get spicy.
Oh, boy.
Fantastic.
God damn.
So the assassins rolled a 4, so they will be going first. If anybody would like to jump in, now is the time. Otherwise, when we get to your initiative.
So just making sure we're declaring actions and then we go back down, right?
No. So everything starts off from lowest to highest. And then once your initiative comes up, you take your turn. So there's no declaration phase. It's just simply, if you have a higher number, you can jump in and interrupt a lower number, but you would reset your initiative to that lower number moving forward. You can also hold your action, which will reset you to the highest possible number, like one above whatever is the highest number for the next round. So you do nothing in one round, but you reset so that you can interrupt at your leisure the next round.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for the double checking.
Yeah. So the assassins are going to go first. There's one on each of the Jedis. They're just going to attack them. And you can feel Kay and Ulick and Arca kind of pulling on the Force. There's a very big difference between how Kay and Ulick Kildrumma are kind of pulling on the Force and how a Jedi Master like Arca Jeth is doing it. There's a very clear denotion of where they are in the scale of power. On the low end is Kay. Kay Kildrumma is not built for fighting. It's very, very clear as he's kind of pulling on the Force. There's what did we establish for Synthracia and for Nora is hope and dedication as a color.
Hope would be sort of trending toward a green, and with blue hues intermixed.
Okay. And for Nora?
Dedication is definitely blue. Hope is more of like this yellow going to pink.
Okay. With Ulick, it's more duty and his desire to prove himself. What color do you think that would paint him for you guys?
Dedication's a green.
I think it'd fall into like a soft, almost icy hue.
Okay.
And fortify itself off of that.
With Arca Jeth, there is no real emotional tie. You can tell completely that this is a man that has pulled himself away from an emotional connection to action. The only thing that's there for him is his connection to the Force and what it means. And there is a symbiotic kind of feedback loop that comes from him into his lightsaber and then back out into him, centered around where the crystal is housed in the blade. What color do you think Master Jeff would be to the two of you, given that he's not emotionally tied to what he's doing and how he's calling on the Force?
Like very grainy. It's almost like looking at an old movie filter. There's like this dull hue of like slightly tan / orange to it. But for the most part, there's not really a lot of color there. It appears very strange because emotion gives everything color. So the lack of it means that it's very weird to look at.
Yeah, Nora?
What's his color? This kyber crystal.
Blue.
It would be more of like it'd be more white with the inflections of his kyber crystal. So strands of blue in it to reflect his symbiotic relationship with the Force.
Okay. So the three of them are calling on the Force and just defending themselves. So Nora and Synthracia will see just this color palette just kind of swooshing back and forth. Very trained, very meticulously kind of moving the lightsabers about. You'll also notice that there isn't the same symbiotic relationship with Ulick and Kay that they have with their lightsabers. It's there, but it's very minimal. It's almost just barely touched. And so their strands are much thinner, much wispier. There's moments where you can see them kind of fraying and coming undone. And it's almost in line with a misstep. It very much feels like, for having earned the title of a Jedi Knight, like these are not powerful individuals, not like Master Jeth. Master Jeth is always connected to his kyber crystal and always in movement with where the Force wants him to be. And as these knife kind of cuts come in at him, you will see that his lightsaber kind of moves instinctively to block here, parry there, to step away, to use a person's momentum against them. This brings us to Synthracia.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to use one of my abilities.
Oh, here we go.
And I would like to use my battle meditation ability.
Okay.
So I want to call on the magical primal essence of the universe and use it to try and help our allies.
All right.
The difficulty is based on the number of targets, and I assume there are less than 20 targets.
Yep. It depends on how many you want to try to manipulate, but there are 3 right now that are attacking each of the Jedis, and there are another 6 beyond them that are rushing towards the Royal Promenade.
Okay. Then we'll use it on. We can use it on pretty much everybody, as long as it's below 20.
9.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I'm attempting to aid allies, so that will give them. Let's see, balance the battle. The witch's enemies lose 1d for every 4d I have in the spell, as long as it goes off.
Yep.
So let me go ahead and roll that.
So you have less than 4 dice, so you'll only be affecting them by 1 dice.
Yes.
But it's an easy roll.
Yeah.
So as long as you get at least a 6, you are in the clear. You have 2 dice, so that's not terrible odds in your favor.
Yeah, 2d, and then +2, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a statistical average.
I got a 4 and a 6, so that is 10 + 2, so 12.
12. Perfect. very easy for you to affect the current battlefield in front of you. Given how most probably your training on Dathomir would have involved more kind of lower base forms like ants or insects and the like to kind of test the limits of what you could reach for. A small number like this doesn't really stretch you as a witch, and you can see the tendrils of your force energy kind of reaching out, enveloping your allies, and at the same time kind of lashing out at each of the assassins. What emotion do you think you're, if any, do you think you're pumping into this, and what color would this be for Nora?
For my allies, I'm pumping strength, sureness, nothing close to arrogance, but like this surety in their actions and their motions, and encouragement almost. And for the enemies, it's pain and doubt and the inability to continue forward or continue fighting, the desire to surrender. So I'm not quite sure what that would look like to Nora.
Nora?
I'm trying to paint a picture, and I'm thinking of that. I think it'd be a lot of dancing of her colors, a lot of like almost kind of like spiral ribbons, trying to show where people are being connected to.
Okay. So that'll be Synthracia's turn. Brings us to Nora.
So what kind of emotions do the assassins have?
They are predominantly based on greed. There is a factor of some kind of monetary reward for this action. That is their primary and their main, for all of them except one. The one who is part of the 6 that's further ahead, it's about survival and accomplishment.
Okay, and I can see where the Jedi are because
Yes.
of their emotions. Can I see if any of them are being close to being attacked, or can I see the conflict, or like where their components are?
No,
So I can shoot them, or am I gonna?
You could completely shoot them. The fog is more there for people like Avix and Nev and the Jedi and the Royal Promenade. Like, it's there to affect people with sight. You and Synthracia have a cheat code for what's happening here.
I like cheat codes. She would actually go and do the best she could to shoot at the one that's trying to get to the Jedi Master, so she can free the Jedi Master up to go to the head guy that's got that really weird kind of sense of feeling.
Sure. So you're gonna roll your blaster skill. You're only gonna take the one shot?
How many shots can I take?
Well, remember, every whenever you're gonna take multiple actions, you declare the number of actions you want to take first, and then we start to subtract from your pool. You get one free action every turn.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely taking the free action to shoot and try and free the Jedi. If I can free the Master, she's just going to say, go get this guy. He's got a whole different feeling about him, and he's target number 1.
Okay. Then for one shot, you would normally roll 4 die plus 1 because you are being affected by Synthracia's battle meditation. You get an extra die on top of that. So you're rolling 5 die plus 1.
I like this.
That means that this assassin now has -1 die to his dodge roll. Good times. Being sarcastic. Man, Steve Perry fucked me today.
That's 28.
28. Yeah, bro, you beat my 5. Okay. You beat my 5.
I'm sorry. Do you want a hug?
No.
Okay.
I rolled a 1 on my wild die, just so you're aware.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, I had 2 dice, and they were both garbage. So your blaster does 3 die damage. So go ahead and roll your 3 dice. And let's see what happens to this man's.
I'm not sorry.
I know you're not.
Ooh, I like this. Oh. Oh man, this hurt. 22. 24. I exploded 3 times.
24. So, I don't know if you remember from the first time we did combat that little table that I told you about. Like, if whatever the difference is between their soak roll and your damage roll, that's where they fall on the table of pain, as I call it. You rolled a 24. I rolled a 5. Anything above 16 is dead. So what do you do to this man's who had no ability to stop you from doing what you're doing to him? And who could have probably led a better life if he made better choices?
I mean, before Han Solo even was born, I mean, there was Nora Baymar.
Sure.
And she took her blaster out, and she just kind of followed where the Force was going, and she went, oh, pew, pew. And just dead shot right in the head, right between the eyes, just as, Master's about to swing down, and she's like, no, pew. And that, that ended assassin number, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
May the Force be with him in his next life, and hopefully he will
the
not make
unnamed
bad
assassin.
Choice. Yeah.
And now there were 8.
She'll tell. Yeah. And she'll tell Jedi Master to go after this dude. And she'll just point to her head like, I can see his face. I can see his emotions.
Yeah.
He's the odd one.
Mirror Luke are not rare enough that you need to explain what's happening. The moment that this man gets hit right between the eyes, Avix and Nev will see him just stand there for a moment, and then the first thing to drop is his knife, and then the rest of the body follows, crumples like a rag doll. The Jedi Master kind of looks back at your group. There's a flash that Nora and Synthracia will see of disappointment, of a little flash of sadness, tied to the fact that a living person has died in front of him. But he does kind of listen to your comment, and he does push his way forward towards who you singled out. That was Nora at 11, so that brings us to Avix at 19.
Okay. And so there were 2 more still attacking the twins, right?
Not twins, but they are
brothers.
The brothers, yeah.
Okay. Is there any way that I could run up and use melee parry to block what the assassins are doing and try and give one of the brothers a chance to attack back?
100%. 100% you can throw yourself in front of an attack. What is your melee parry? 4 dice.
My melee parry is 4 dice.
Damn.
And I have the vibro knife. Does that help me?
It does. That's if you're doing damage.
Okay. Because there's parry on the vibro knife.
Yeah. That's what you would roll if you're parrying with the vibro knife. So I'm assuming that's what you'll be pulling out.
Yes.
So you have normally 4 dice. With Synthracia's battle meditation, you have 5 dice.
Okay.
I don't even know if I should roll, given how my night is going.
You could always explode.
And you know what? from your lips to the ancestors' ears, I did explode.
Whereas
That's
I
it.
did almost the opposite. I didn't get a 1 on the wild die, but I didn't
Okay.
roll high. So
All right. I mean, these are Jedi. They're more than capable of defending themselves, but it does help if they have an opening to exploit.
yes. So I got 10.
10. All right. So I rolled 12. And so because I rolled higher than you, that means that my attack went through. So instead of the Jedi getting attacked, you're getting attacked.
Okay.
And so because of Synthracia's battle meditation, I have 1 less die for my damage, and you have 1 more die to your soak.
Okay. So what is my soak?
Your soak would normally be your strength plus any armor you have.
Which
you have
is
a concussion
not
vest.
much. I have the concussion vest, which is 1 die, and
for
then the
physical.
strength is 2d plus 1.
Yeah. So normally you would roll 3 die plus 1, but because of Synthracia, you have 4 die plus 1 to soak this.
Okay.
That power is straight up bullshit.
It's a little good.
Okay.
It's a little good.
That's a little bit better.
A little good. You're okay. I have a penalty. Remember, I'm not going to be hitting hard.
16.
16. I got 10. So you got more than me. And so you're alive.
You.
0 to 3 is stunned. So just the fact that this attack got past your defenses, managed to kind of scratch up your concussion vest slightly. You can almost see like where had you been breathing more exuberantly or in a different position, like it would have definitely have cleaved into your flesh. And so for your next action, next turn, you have a -1 die.
Okay.
And so in that way, I will combat the bullshit that is Synthracia. But that brings us to 21. Nev at the bottom of the round.
You kind of described us in like a market gangway, right? As I'm recalling.
Yeah, it's about 20 feet wide. There would have been stalls here to kind of compact the walking area, but everybody's fucked off.
So he's going to use like a yard of movement to go grab a like sitting stool someone was using and then go charge the guy that hit Alex.
Perfect. You're going to grab this metallic stool. It looks fancy. It looks like it's one of those very fancy shopkeeper stools that's meant to cushion someone for a long period of time. And are you using the soft end?
Oh no,
as the battering ram, or
he's like swinging it like a baseball bat.
Oh, swing away, Bobby! Swing away.
And you know what? Just for safety, I'm going to use a character point.
Okay. Remember, you can use those after. It's only the force point that needs to be declared at the beginning of the round. Does Nev have melee combat?
He does. He picked it up after last session.
Okay. So normally you would have 2 die plus 1. You have 1 extra die for your shenanigans. So you have 3 die plus 1.
16.
16 beats my low ass 7 because of Synthracia's bullshit. So you hit him with your makeshift weapon. Your strength is a 2 die. I'll give you 1 more die for this metallic stool, and plus 1 more die because of Synthracia gives you a total of 4 dice.
Not a great roll.
I mean, I have a penalty, sir.
11.
11. I rolled a 2. So you got 9 over me. What happens to this poor man that you have assailed with a stool? Because you definitely hear some bones breaking.
I think you just hear his jaw is just dislodged as Nev hits a good hit in with this makeshift stool weapon. Just straight up across the face, jaw out of socket.
There there is an almost cartoony kind of spin as he takes this hit that he just couldn't find his way out of. And for everybody, there is the sound of melee, the lightsabers humming. For Synthracia and Nora, who have an augmented kind of sense of hearing, smell, taste, and tactileness, you hear the damage that this man has suffered. And he collapses too, just holding his face, drops the knife. He's kind of like has one hand up above his head, and his whole personality has shifted to just self-preservation. What color do you think is cowardice and the desire to not be killed for both of you? Because he is giving it off in waves.
It's like a sickly yellow. Oh, Nora.
I pulled Ben.
Yellow belly.
Yellow belly.
Yellow belly.
A consensus, finally. Oh my God. It's so rare. I got to enjoy these moments.
Soak it in. Okay, that's enough.
That's enough? That's it. You will see that as the third assassin has been kind of left to fight with Keiko, who is holding his own, but very much flustered. You would imagine that this is very similar to how Doman might be reacting. Maybe Kay has a little bit more courage in him. But you all will feel a sudden ping of force energy as surprisingly Silas pulls on the force. And you will see that as the assassin drops down from being hit in the face with a stool, the knife hits on the floor, bounces up, and as it is about to clatter on the floor for a second time, the blaster bolt hits it, knocks it clear away into the street beyond, and ricochets up at the assailant, and you just see him take it full force to the mouth, and just his eyes roll back and he collapses backwards. You have something to say?
In character, yes.
Okay,
but
yeah, go for it. Go for it. I heard that sharp intake. Go nuts.
how the fuck?
Impressive.
I saw that.
He just kind of looks in your direction. I mean, I'm good with the gun. What can I say? And he holsters it.
Fuck you did. That wasn't just a gun. She just goes like this.
Excellent with magic as well.
Motherfucking Christ.
I don't know about this magic nonsense, but you know.
The force she's talking about.
Yeah, my sister has it.
Don't you lie. We just saw.
All right. Understood.
Mm-hmm. There's something you need to teach me on that one.
It's not Jedi approved.
Do I look like a Jedi?
Noted. And as he says that, you will all see shadows overhead as another wave of these manta rays comes swooping over, and you see another group descend. As this group descends, however, Avix and Nev will notice that there's one that drops down that has this very kind of Baby Bjorn kind of situation on his chest, but there's nothing really visible as far as something protruding out from it. It's just like this cradle that he has on his chest. And the moment he jams his finger into it, you can hear this cry of pain. For Synthracia and Nora, the moment you hear this cry of pain come out of this holster, this kind of cradle, there is this expanse of nothing. Everything becomes blank. And even though you were standing on a street, you see nothing. You are floating in an absolute orb of nothingness that extends out maybe another 50 feet behind you and just kind of encapsulates this whole thing. Like everybody's gone. Nev, Avix, Silas, the Jedi, the Royal Promenade, the Assassins, everybody is gone.
Who turned off the lights? Are you there?
Can we hear each other?
Yes. Yes, I can.
I can't see anything. This
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
You're telling me?
Let's see.
Here, give me your hand.
Okay.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Are we starting another round or no?
We are starting another round, and you will notice that there is a third wave, a third wing of manta rays that are swooping around for another pass. But there are 6 more assassins that have dropped down. You still have Ulick and Kay next to you. You have Silas with you, of course. But we start at the bottom with the assassins.
I'm going to jump ahead. Oh.
I actually would also like to jump ahead.
Ooh, sure enough. The Shogun of Harlem. So Avix, you're going to go on 3. Nev, you're going to go on 3. Which one of you would like to go first?
I'm going to just go ahead and dive at the dude who's got the cradle,
the baby
thing on him.
You got it.
And with my vibro knife, like stab not at the baby Bjorn thing, but at what I'm assuming is his chest, but also where I'm assuming there's some straps holding that thing on. So I'm trying to both stab him and try and, cut that thing to loosen it.
So let's have you make a melee combat roll.
Okay, so that is 3d plus 1 on my skills.
And the plus 1 vanishes.
Yep.
And you also notice, as normally you would be able to, and make sure that you have this. Yeah, you have sense. Yep. Normally, whereas you would be able to just kind of like rudimentarily sense everybody around you, everybody's gone.
Okay.
You can see them. You know where they are, but you don't
but I
sense them in the force anymore.
Okay. So do I add the vibro knife attack to that, or is it just 3?
No, it's just your skill.
Okay.
The attack just lets you know how much you're rolling for that attack.
Okay.
Oh, good. Another 1 on the wild die, because that's what I needed.
I was that close to exploding. And it would have been really fun because I got 2 6s on the other die.
Ooh.
So I got 2 6s and a 5, so 17.
17. That beats my 12. So you hurt him. Roll your damage.
Okay. And that is my 4 dice on the knife plus my strength.
No, that's a total. So you would roll just 4 dice.
4 dice. Okay. 27.
Oh my god. I thought I rolled good with a 15. 27.
2 6s, a 3, and a 4 for the record.
Yeah. 27 is a difference of 12. You almost killed this man. There is a stab almost up at the upper portion of where this baby Bjorn is connected to his shoulder, and you will see that although you've hurt him more than anything, you hear another cry of pain, and you see what looks to be a green sliver of blood starting to kind of seep out of whatever's in the baby Bjorn.
Okay. I can't use an extra action right now, or can I? I would have had to declare that.
You would have had to declare that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
So Nev.
Nev is going to take 2 actions this turn.
Okay, what do you want to do?
The first action he is going to take is to grab the assassin he just clobbered with a fucking chair by the scruff of like their garb. Don't hurt another person's family again.
Okay.
Get out of here and you'll live. And he'd like to make a persuasion check.
Okay. Not gonna penalize you as an action to grab him. He's pretty much out of the combat. So just roll your full persuasion, your 4 dice.
Ooh, we explode.
Nice.
10, 20, 24.
24. This man just kind of like looks up at you. There are tears in his eyes. There is blood coming out of his nose. He has no idea how to fix his jaw. It is kind of slacked and to the side. He just, and starts to lumber away from the situation. And you see him just kind of pulling off the rudimentary pieces of armor that he was given, and just kind of like tossing it to the side. The moment he does, you notice that right above his shoulder, right beneath where the sleeve is to his undershirt, there is a tattoo of a kind of broken 4-fingered hand. This is something very, very relatable to Nev in particular, because this is the symbol of the shattered hand.
Okay.
Are you still going to let him walk?
Yes.
Okay.
Next, he is going to go to the girls, attempt to take them both by the hand and drag them behind a stall and get them into cover. Since they both express they loudly cannot see.
This is my favorite part of Blind Mirror Luca. Someone has attempted to accost you, ladies. They are reaching for your hands. You don't know who this is.
Let me
Who
get
is
you into
that?
cover.
Who is that?
Would we recognize? I assume we recognize Nev's voice.
You've spent a little time together.
Yeah, it's been a month, 2 months together.
Okay. Stumble behind him.
Oh God, I hate this. Somebody turn on the lights, please.
This is, I think, the most unsettling moment for the two of you, because you've spent so much time around Nev. You know his kind of honeycomb pattern. You know the aura that he normally gives off. There is nothing here. There is the absence of Nev, even though you can feel the arms, the hands kind of like coming around yours. Is Nev shaking?
Yeah,
by any
absolutely.
chance? Okay. Yeah.
He just hit another person for the first time.
You saw him violently lash out. And the last images that you saw of him were these kind of reefs of would you say you were pushed by anger, or is this a kind of vengeance? What spurned him to take up arms?
I think for Nev, he very much doesn't want to see people die. Like, there is one person he wants dead. As much as he wants that one person dead, other people don't deserve that fate. So it was, get this person out of the fight before they get cut in half with those murder weapons.
Okay. So yeah, that whatever color that was for the two of you, that's the last you remember seeing from Nev. And now he has reached out, he has grabbed each of your hands, and he's trying to help you. And you can't see the color attached to him. You don't know if he's found himself again, if he's still being led by that that kind of emotion. How does this affect the two of you?
Sintrisha is also shaking.
Okay. Nora?
She's very stiff and hesitant and really kind of trying to feel, but this is freaking her the fuck out.
This is
She's
the
not
first
shaking,
time either of
but
you have
she's
ever dealt
just-
with this.
She's stiff as a board.
Okay. So Nev, you'll feel that. You'll feel that there's a little bit of reciprocation from your shaking in Synthracia, but there is just this wall from Nora. That brings us to...
you want me to roll to hide them?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Brings us to Synthracia with a 9.
She'll
You can
find
feel that you're
herself-
being moved.
Yeah. She'll find herself behind that cover where Nev puts us.
Mhm.
And it's like losing more than one sense right now. She's trying, she can still hear, she can still feel, she can still there's temperature, there's scent, there's hearing, but there's just
Every
there's
step
nothing else.
is just a test of willpower and control, because there's nothing. There is the absence. It is like you are trying to walk on air. It is frightening, to say the least.
There's a lot of terror right now. That would certainly be the color that she was giving off, if it were possible for anyone to see that, which it isn't.
No.
But she's never experienced anything in her life like this. But she's determined. She's going to try and use her other senses to kind of hone in on, at least on where the action is, and she will draw her bow, but I don't think she's going to use it until she can take a second and center herself.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this before. I'm completely cut off from everything, from all the magic. It's impossible. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And Nev, are you being cautious with them, or are you trying to urge them to safety as fast as possible? Because
I think it's to safety as fast as possible, since they've expressed
Okay.
they cannot see.
Yeah. All right. Then Synthracia, give me a dexterity roll.
All right, so let's pull out the straight dexterity.
As, yeah, that's not bad.
Mhm.
As you are being led through this emptiness, and so each step is unsure. How can somebody be so confidently moving forward when you know there's nothing there?
It's only a 13, but so
fine.
there's some trepidation there.
More than enough. There is definitely a hesitance for sure, but I think...
You've got this.
Would you think that Nev's also shaking kind of gives you some semblance of a safe harbor?
I would say that there's a little bit of kinship. We're both very flustered right now.
Yep.
So if they're shaking, that means that it's on, and the tone of their voice is that they're not necessarily in a rage or anything.
Yeah.
They're afraid, and I'm afraid. So we're afraid together. Twinsies.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's where we're at right now.
All right. And Nora, you're being led, and you know that there's a rush. There is no concern given to what you're going through right now. So if I could also have a dexterity roll from you before anything happens, because I know that you were also kind of not willing to go at first. So that hesitation definitely is going to come through on this roll. Your difficulty is going to be a little bit higher because of that.
Mel needs a new pair of Mellow Blancs. Come on.
Yeah, well, Steve Perry's around, so.
I did not. Oh, I just got 3 6s.
Oh, okay. Good for you. Good for you. I'm the one that's getting fucking.
Sometimes Steve Perry likes us.
Okay, hold on. So we got.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be doing numbers and I get paid for it, man. Hold on.
Nope. Yeah, right? Look at you. Yeah. If we can figure out how to get rid of the Steve Perry curse, that would be fantastic. I would love that
41.
41?
I broke out a calculator for this.
Yeah, look at you. So because you rolled naturally without any augmentation over 31, you will have your choice. You can either have a force point or you can have 3 character points.
Oh, fuck. God damn.
Yo.
I think we're gonna go with a forest point because I might be using that at some point.
I'll bring you to 3. So the first time in a session that you can roll above 31, which is heroic.
That's I'd like to think on my 6s.
Yeah.
And Steve Perry.
And Steve Perry. The moment that Nev starts running, you can hear the kind of trepidatious footfalls of Synthracia next to you. You can feel that there's none of that coming from Nev. Like Nev can see where he's going. He knows where he wants to hide you. He has a plan, but there's absence of everything for you. You are in a void. You don't see him. You don't see her. You don't see any of the situation that's happening around you. And even though you know that this dome ends somewhere, you can't see what's beyond. But there is a sure kind of, even through this whole situation, there's a courage there that helps you find footing every step of the way. What else do you think Nora would be doing in this void of sensation?
Depending on who's around and who's like, I'm sure that Nev's got Synthracia. If she could get somebody, she'll like somebody give me eyes. I want to shoot whatever this fucking thing is. She's pissed.
Okay.
She's getting angry.
Okay.
And all of that built up anger and emotion is just getting to the point where, how fucking dare you blind me? I'm going to shoot your ass, you dumb motherfucker.
Okay. So if you could roll your blaster skill.
Mm-hmm. I can't get that extra dice, I know.
Nope. It's just a flat 4 die.
Okay.
Even or odd in your favor?
I like evens.
Good times.
Okay, good. My 17 is good, yes.
17? Let's find out. Alex, could you roll your dodge for me?
Okay.
No,
4D.
Please dodge. I'm so sorry.
40.
3 die because you took an action this turn.
Oh, okay.
Please dodge.
10.
10. You hit. You hear the blaster bolt fly, and then you hear the impact of it. If you could roll your damage against Avix's strength of 2 die plus 1.
I'm sorry.
Oh God, I'm gonna die.
No.
Die. We'll heal you. Hopefully I'll roll bad. I did roll bad. Yeah. I was
Exploded.
Nice. Good. Good.
But my other die was pretty dang low. So let's see here.
That's okay. I rolled
12
on my wild die.
plus my 1 pip. So 13.
All right.
I got a 9. We're good.
9. Okay.
We're good.
So because you had been stunned the round before, this blaster bolt catches you by surprise and forces you down into wounded once.
Okay.
But you notice that the only ones behind you that could have taken the shot are either Silas, Nora, Nev, or Synthracia. Like there's no assassin behind you. They're all in front of you.
I'm sorry, you're blind.
Yeah, that'll work.
The tough thing, always.
Yeah.
Going to hell for that.
Okay, so what does wounded
you
one
see,
do?
if you look back, you will see that there is a hand kind of out above a crate that looks like it's pointed in your direction. It's kind of slowly sweeping back and forth. Silas kind of looks over at you, looks over at it, and just goes, "That wasn't me."
That's all.
But you do see him take a shot, and as the guy was about to push you off and stab you with his knife, you see the shot just hit him in the wrist, and his knife goes flying, and he just screams in pain. It almost looks like the blaster bolt didn't do more of a burn to him. It did more of like a solid impact. You can see that there is this crater, this little kind of blaster-sized crater in the man's wrist. He's probably never going to be able to use that hand to its full potential ever again.
Okay.
You and Nev can actually see that the other manta rays are coming around for their attack run, and there's a moment where you see this shape come crashing down next to you from the roof, and the first thing you see is this dark gray streaks of black, kind of stripes of black on his robes, and there's a click hum of a lightsaber turning on straight through this man's chest, and the creature lets out this pained groan, and then whatever is in there just slumps. And the moment it does, everything comes crashing back to Synthracia and Nora. There's just the overflux, the kind of wave of lights, of sound, of the force kind of being sucked back in from a vacuum that just kind of pulls. And as this happens, everybody can now feel their connection to the force kind of returning. For sure, Synthracia and Nora can feel it coming back. And the first thing you'll notice is that there is this new outline of a character, of a person, a male. There is whatever is the color of controlled anger, of controlled aggression for you. Coming,
seething and crackling red.
Yeah. Coming from him. But there is the same kind of threading of feedback from his kyber, from his kind of Adigan crystal in his lightsaber, but his lightsaber isn't the same as Kay's or Ulick's or Master Arca, Jeth's. This is a double-bladed lightsaber. There are two blades coming from this. To Alex and Nev, they will see this near human, dark black hair. There are strands that kind of come down his face, but the majority of it is kind of swept back into a ponytail, with some of it kind of coming down his shoulders like a cascade. And he just kind of pulls the lightsaber handle up, turns and examines the battlefield with this stoic kind of steely gaze. And Kay will come over and help you up. And as he does, his brother Ulick comes rushing over and just kind of pats this gentleman on the shoulder as the three manta rays that were going to do another pass break off. And you hear a scream from beyond at the end of the street as some of the assassins actually manage to get to the Royal Promenade and hurt the queen. She is still alive right now, and Arkajeth has captured one of the assailants, the one that Nora pointed out to him. And as everybody's kind of trying to figure out what happened, why these assassins came out of nowhere, and who this new force of nature is, I think this is a good time to go to break. So we will see you guys in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, we got to see some very spicy combat as they were separated. Half of this group was separated from the force by something that they still have yet to discover. And they got to see one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful duelist of this time period come in to turn the tide. So as everybody's taking stock of the situation, you can hear the cries for help coming from the end of the street. You can see Master Arca kind of standing on top of, with a foot on top of the person that Nora told him was different. Ulick and Kay Keldroma are standing around a group of what looks to be very hurt assassins. Some of them have missing body parts. Some of them are glad that lightsabers cauterize the wound automatically and instantly. And then there is the whole situation in front of Avix, which is this assassin whose hand is forever damaged and irreparably broken and dead, whose last kind of defensive gesture was to protect the creature in its cradle as this double-bladed lightsaber shuts off and the gentleman puts it back on his belt. You see that there is this dark countenance to him. There's a smile on his face as he kind of looks over and sees that they've won the day, especially kind of looking down at Ulick as he is a little bit taller. Definitely more near human than human. But he squats down next to you, Avix, and just kind of pulls the cradle open. Oh, this is troubling. I didn't expect the shattered hand to be using his Salamiri like this. And he looks at you. Are you all right? You seem hurt.
Only a little.
Good. And he brings his hand down on the back of this, what looks to be this six-legged iguana that he pulls free from the cradle. And as he kind of holds it there, you can see the hole where his lightsaber cleaved into this thing. The creature is about 14, 15 inches long. The teeth on the inside, the front row seems to be jagged, pointed, but the back is all flat and kind of thick for crunching. Very weird. The eyes appear to be gecko-like in that they're very independent. One of them is even looking forward. The other one's kind of like drooped down. The tongue looks to be thick and triangular, almost like a alligator. The thing looks like an amalgam of different predators kind of jammed together in a cauldron and then vomited out. There's a small frill that kind of comes down to the base of its tail, and then it tapers out into this fin. It's a little bit larger on the top of its tail than it is on the bottom, but it looks like it's made for swimming. There's very, very small little triangles of webbing on the inside of its fingers. It doesn't go all the way to the tips of the fingers. Like it's meant to be an amphibious kind of animal, it looks like.
Avex says, I thought that was a baby. I didn't want to hurt it.
And he looks at it. Yeah, technically could count as a child. I've seen bigger species. And he'll stand up with it. He'll help you stand up. My name is Exar Kuhn. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Which one of you is Master Jeth?
He ran that way, and Avex kind of points towards wherever wherever the queen and all of that mess is going on.
Excellent. And he hands you the lizard. Yeah. This might be important for later. And you see him start to make his way over. Kay comes over. He's all shades of fanboy, it looks like. And Ulick is on the other side of him, just kind of like asking him where he's been, what he's seen. And they take the conversation down the street very nonchalantly. Silas comes over to where Nora, Synthracia, and Nev are. You all right?
Nev is immediately booking it towards the very loud scream for help.
Okay.
Going to go help the queen. But yes, good now. Thank you for checking.
Yeah.
And she'll run with her bow like drawn across her chest.
Okay. But yeah, Silas, come over, help Nora up. You all right?
Pissed off.
I would be too if I shot my own crewmate.
Oh, shit, did I?
Almost
Dude.
dead center of mass.
Totally blind. Felt, saw nothing.
I mean, not 5 seconds ago, you told me that you saw a whole bunch of shit, and then taps on his eyes.
Yes, but there was a whole bunch of something that voided out the entire thing of the Force, making me blind.
That's weird.
Blinder than blind. That's not cool.
Yeah, let's try not to shoot any of the crew again, all right?
You know, maybe if you would tell me where to aim, it would have been better.
Oh, yeah, you want me to fire your gun too?
You know what?
You see
Sure.
him
Why
start
don't you
walking
stand
away.
behind me and just grab my gun while I'm trying to shoot? Oh, she's following him,
Okay.
sassing the fuck out of him.
Yeah. But he'll come over to Avex. Oh, so that's what happened.
Avex just is like holding this thing out and going, someone please take this.
Oh, you can put
What
it
is
down.
it?
Yeah,
What is it?
It's weird because even now that it's dead, you still don't see it in the Force. It's just an outline of something that doesn't exist.
What? I can't. All I can see is this weird ass body shape. What is it?
Weird green lizard tentacle thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like looking for somewhere to put it down. Like, I don't want to drop it on the ground, but I'm just looking
Drop it on the
for
ground. Who
somewhere
gives
to
a
put it
fuck?
down.
Just drop it on the ground. Who
Yeah.
cares?
It's dead. It won't hurt it anymore.
Well, XR
You know
Kun
what?
said keep it safe, so I'm just trying to find somewhere to put it.
Oh yeah, just put it on top of that body then.
Why? I mean, literally, it's literally blinding.
It's
I couldn't
an
see shit.
Isalamiri. I've seen it before once or twice. I've never
I'm
seen
sorry.
one
Can you
out
say that
this far.
slowly?
Isalamiri.
What is it?
It's a lizard. It hunts with the force.
Oh, so it makes me blind, but it can see me. Mental note for next time.
Yep.
Sorry, Avex. She'll offer her hand,
As soon as I get it out of my hand,
Yeah.
out of my hands. I'm gonna try and use first aid on myself to try and
You got it.
deal with everything.
Yeah. You're a -1 die because you are wounded.
Yep.
Do you want me to
So
hold
3D
anything while
plus
you're
1.
doing something?
So 3 die +1 should not be terrible. You will be eating up one of your med packs.
Well, I'm not sure I actually am gonna eat it up
Oh.
because I completely failed that.
Okay.
That was a flub on the wild die.
Ooh, yeah.
Which took away the other one of the die. So the remaining one was 2.
Okay.
I think I might have just made the wound worse. I'm not sure.
You try to get out around to it. The rear part of the shoulder is just on the lower part of it. You can't really get a hand on it. And so you end up spilling a lot of the kind of ointment that you would use to help the blaster burn heal faster, and it just starts to slip all down the side of your body. The band-aid just unravels the wrong way as you're trying to toss it back around the shoulder to catch it. And
Is there any way Nora
Silas,
can assist? I don't have med or first aid, but I'm sure it's got a parent die.
it does. It would be a technical roll.
Oh, great. It's a 2. Fantastic.
Yep. So Silas just kind of backs up a step and he's like, well, this is outside my pay grade. But I definitely will get somebody to help you if I were you, Avix.
Yeah, I'm normally better than this, but I can't move my arm very well right now.
I rolled a 6 if that is any way to assist.
You make things worse.
Fantastic.
You see the ointment kind of falling down his body. You reach your hand up, and as you reach up to grab it, you kind of jab your fingers right underneath his wound, and it just sends out a jolt of pain throughout his body.
Ah!
Sorry. I don't know how to put people together. I just had to pull them apart.
Yeah, maybe let's leave that to Nev then. Let's just all take this dead lizard over to where everybody's kind of gathering around over there on this big shot named XR Kun.
Thing. I can't.
Well, not you, but definitely Avix could touch it. He's been touching it before.
Apparently, he likes it.
I mean,
not really. He's holding it out and just kind of like limping that way at this point. Like,
is there a bag that like Nora could just grab somewhere and just like put it in this?
I mean, there's the baby Bjorn that it came in.
Oh, just put it back in whatever cage it came in. Make it easier.
And Silas kind of looks. He's like, I'd rather hold on to it like it is a child with a bad diaper.
I don't even know how to hold that.
Just arms straight out, holding it up. Yeah, walking away.
Yep.
She's gonna walk on the other side of Silas so that she's not close to Avix with that thing.
Smart.
Mm-hmm.
But
you smell fine, Avix, but no, that's just no.
You come back to where Master Archijeth and the other Jedi are kind of around the Queen. They're trying to help her, and even Nev has kind of come over and helped stabilize her. But you see that XR Kun is kind of ripping the sleeves off of people and pointing out, kind of bringing everybody together, pulling on the bodies to gather them all up. And at first, there's nothing really that draws the eye until one of the one that Master Jeff kind of set aside screams out and tries to protect his arm after Exarchun rips the sleeve off. Exarchun, excuse me, gives him a swift kick, and the guy just kind of like his head rocks and then lulls, and his hand just slides off. And Kodroma is the first to kind of come over to him and be like, there are better ways to do that. You know, like you don't. And Exarchun just gives him a look, and immediately K backs off. He's like, hey, I okay, do it your way. Let's do it your way. But with his foot, he slides the man's hand off of his arm, and he applies pressure to kind of bring attention to it. And he looks over at Master Jeff, and he goes, this appears to be the same brand on all of them. A full-fingered, kind of broken hand. Do you know what this means, Master Jeff? And before Arca Jeff can say anything, Silas kind of steps forward. These are all members of the Shattered Hand, if I'm remembering correctly. But these are in the core world. Like this is far from where they're normally gathered. Like this is expansion that I don't think anybody's ready for. And Exarchun kind of looks at him, raises an eyebrow, and then acknowledges the rest of the group for a second. Oh, are you all Jedi? I don't recognize you from Alsis. I can sense some lingering traces of the Force on you, but.
And Threesia's looking at him with like something akin to like mystery, because if there's one thing she's learned from Jedi so far, especially her aunt, it's that having that like darkness around you is like really bad for them. So when she felt it from Exarchun, she's like, wait, they're not supposed to do that. You are a Jedi.
He nods, and you and Nora will both notice that he is still very subtly, very, very much like second nature to him, like it's on the back burner, but he is still pulling on the Force. Like he is in a constant state of this controlled aggression, and it's become more of a defensive aggression now, but he looks like he is constantly prepared for something. What color would that be to both of you?
If it's defensive, it's probably oscillating between like either orange and then cooling down into like a deep brown, constantly going back and forth. It's only when it's projected outward, like anger, that it turns into full red.
I'd say between burnt orange and maroon.
Okay. But he's kind of standing there, his foot still on the guy's arm. And Silas kind of looks at your group. That's bad.
Give me a minute, and you'll see Neb is still currently barking orders to guards to like get him supplies so that he can help the queen.
Mm-hmm.
I can explain a lot of what's going on over there.
And Exarchun just turns in your direction. Can't wait to hear this then. And as he steps over the man's body, he does not shift his foot. Like you see him bring the full weight of his body on this man's elbow, and you can hear it crack.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, you wanted me to play him like a nice person? No. This is gonna become a dark man. You need to see the seeds.
I think I like this Jedi.
But Master Jeff and the co-dramas kind of come over. And X-Raccoon is kind of shifted over to where Nev is helping, and as he squats down next to Nev, you will feel that kind of coldness emanating from him. He is constantly on edge. He is always prepared for things to go sideways, and he just kneels down next to you, kind of squats down, and he's just like, "What do you know about this shattered hand?"
Well, they killed my mother, so, you know.
And you can feel the little tendrils of the Force were about to start sifting through your memories. And the moment you say that, you feel him pull back. Oh, did not expect you to be so forthcoming with your information. Not used to this.
Well, considering I don't like the folks who are doing it, a little easier to talk about it.
Nev's pretty honest and straight at it.
Take a step back as he like moves the queen's arm out into like a tourniquet, like full extension.
Yeah.
I groan a little bit and then start to say,
I'll get to you in a minute.
No. I groan a little bit and start to say, we followed 3 different trails that all led us to this planet.
Fair.
It is a complicated story.
Yes.
Plus, I think this was planned. I mean, they had mists and foggers to blind everyone else to their attack, so it's not surprising that they're trying to either... Actually, they were all circled with greed except for the lead. He had a different feeling and sense of emotions altogether.
And X-Raccoon points at him, that one?
Yep.
And you see him step over back to him, and he puts his hand like full on, like he just grabs the man's forehead, and you all feel him pulling on the Force very coldly. This is him sifting through memories. This is him looking for something. And it's very aggressive. This is not a subtle Force power whatsoever. The only thing that makes it easy on him is the fact that this man is unconscious. But he pulls his hand away, and the essence of him pulling on the Force diminishes back to where it normally is with him, just on that kind of idling of a car, but just ever ready to be put into gear. He goes, I saw memories. There's a man, a near human, I would say probably Hapan, named Ryudo Cass. Unfortunately, he's being held on the rig, but there's a guard that they meet with regularly, Joldol Rend. Seems this is their inside man, as it were. There's a lot of memories of him visiting the rig.
What's the rig tied to this?
Say again?
You are ruthless. Are you sure you're a Jedi?
And Master Jeth will actually look up at you. Some of us question Apprentice Kuhn's exuberance to use the Force. There are other ways. And X-Raccoon just kind of smiles as he looks up at Synthracia. I get reprimanded more often than not, miss. But I am still a Jedi. Even if our methods are a bit more archaic than some of us would like.
No, I completely understand. I am not one myself, but I just... There is a certain edge to it that I think is interesting, because my own experience with the Jedi. The magic force, as you call it, is more universal than many of... sorry.
No, please. And you see him step towards you, and he actually will hold out his hand to you. I would like to know more about how you view the Force, then. It might be something we can learn from each other, then.
She will definitely take his hand, and she'll just start talking about her experiences on Dathomir and the way that she utilizes magic, the confliction between the two forms, the two ways that they're used, how the dark side exists, but she doesn't necessarily believe that's even a thing. It's more just like the more primal and more animalistic forces of it, and her, if she can keep rambling, she'll go. She'll go on about her aunt.
He pulls you away from everybody so that you're just kind of off to the side and just talking to each other.
Yeah, and my aunt, she's very orthodox in her beliefs, and she said she sensed his dark pinprick in me, but that doesn't make sense because that's not how magic works, and it's just crazy to me that somebody would condemn an entire side of magic as if all of the elements didn't need to work in harmony.
And he just nods and smiles, he is taking all of it in, and it feels oddly fantastic to you, I think, because your aunt turned you away because you don't subscribe to the Jedi's methodology, and here Exar Kun is hungrily taking in all the information you're willing to share with him.
Yeah, that feels really nice for her. It's incredibly refreshing.
Okay.
To be able to experience that with another individual Force user who is open-minded, we'll say.
Yeah, and while that's happening, Master Jeth will look at the rest of the group. Unfortunately, if this requires going to the rig, there are two main options that I see moving forward. You can travel to Coruscant to get a voucher from the Republic to meet with this Joldo Rend, or you can go to Boga the Hutt himself, since most of the guards on the rig owe allegiance to him. And Silas holds his hands up and he's like, if anybody's going to a prison, I'm going to set that one out. Me and prisons, we have a very... it's not a good reputation. Let's just leave it at that.
We found this by chance, and we're just here to help. I don't know what the fuck all that shit is. That's a different pay grade from all of us together.
And Master Jeth will point at Nev and he's like, unfortunately, the Force seems to have brought you here for a reason. And if your associate is connected to the Shattered Hand, it behooves us to follow this lead.
You'll see he walks over, grabs Avix by the shoulder, pulls him down, and is just going to start working on him now.
Avix is fine with that, but he is also edging completely as much as he can to keep everyone else between him and Exar Kun. Because, his whole thing is he does not like aggressive people who are hurting others.
Yep.
He will fight them or he will get away from them, and right now he can't fight, so I'm just trying to put as many people as I can between me and him.
Even though he is a completely different species, this man that they refer to as Exar Kun gives you so many harsh memories that dredge up from your life before. His countenance is just almost identical. And it's almost like that superiority of I'm a Jedi, so I'm allowed to do this because I'm doing Jedi things, can easily be replaced with I am a different caste than you, and so I can do these things to you.
Yeah.
Because you were born different.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is, I completely understand why Avix would want to put as much distance between him and Exar Kun as possible. But Master Jeth looks at Nora. I am sure that you want nothing to do with the current situation, but given where we are, I think I would have to ask as an envoy of the Jedi that you follow where this goes.
Oh, how are we going to follow when we're not Jedi ourselves? And clearly, this is a whole Jedi situation.
And again, he points to Nev. I don't think it is.
He looks at the guy. At the very least, I'm coming. You've got me.
God damn it.
If this involves the assassins of my mother, I'm going.
I swear to fucking God.
Anywhere that's not here right now.
Well, we got a busted up ship, so we got to fix that before we can do anything.
That'll take me like a couple days at most.
If that is the only issue, I can loan you my ship. It's a similar model, so there wouldn't be too many differences in your piloting skills. And we can stay here while your ship gets repaired.
Oh, no. I think you guys would need to come with us to help us with this whole thing because you're the envoy. You've got the political means. We don't.
Correct. But we also just witnessed an assassination attempt on the Queen, who is trying to join the Republic. My skills are better left here, I think. And at that point, you see Exar Kun just kind of turn in your direction. I think I'll take up your envoy position then, Master Jeth, if that's all right with you. And he has a heavy sigh, and he kind of looks at your group. He's like, you would be taking one of the best duelists in the Jedi Order with you. So your safety would be assured.
If you want him here, I'm Nev Portalek, child of Coruscanti senator. I can get us in.
That is astounding. And Master Jeth will kind of put his hand on your shoulder. I am sorry for the loss of your mother. She was a key figure in helping to bridge the gap that currently exists between the Republic and the Jedi Order.
Yes, she was. She was a brilliant woman whose life was cut short by these individuals. And I would like retribution very much.
I understand.
And Nev is going to, at this point, because he feels very concerned about all of this, put out as much persuasion and using the pheromones that he's got as much as he can. Or Avix, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's late, my brain.
I get
put out persuasion and as much as the pheromones as he can and just say, if you need the duelist here to protect you, that should, that's okay. And just try and convince people that that's a good thing as much as he can.
Okay. Master Jeth will look at you, nod, almost like he understands what's happening, and then he'll look at Nora. Very well. If Apprentice Kun is to stay here with us, then I think it only fair that you take the Kodroma brothers, Ulick and Kay. They know the insides of my ship. They've been with me for the better part of a few years. They will be able to handle any issues that come up. And that'll give you the Jedis you need to help persuade the Republic should it need it.
Synthresia will definitely speak up. Oh no, it's perfectly fine if we bring up. I mean, the best duelist in the Jedi Order. I see no reason why we might be in a lot of fights.
Oh,
let me
Avix at this point is just like, no, they need someone here to help them fight.
Yeah.
And
let me have Synthresia roll willpower.
All right, I'm good at that.
And let's have Avix roll his persuasion.
Okay. Am I still taking 1 die punishment for the wounded?
Yes, but you're getting a 2 die benefit for the 2 rounds you've been pumping pheromones. So
okay.
Speaking of, do you want me to roll for that?
No, you're fine.
Okay, so
it'll just eat up one of your med packs.
That's 2 die for the pheromones,
one for the queen
4d
as well?
plus 1 for the normal skill because I'm taking 1 off of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
17.
6d plus 1.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Versus a 17.
10, 17, 19, 23.
Okay. What nudging would you say your pheromones are pushing on people?
Like just like I don't even know what emotion is associated with it. It's just pure please listen to me and go along with what I'm saying as much as I can.
Okay.
I don't even know what emotion that is. It's not like anger or anything like that.
Desperation.
It's just please. Yeah, desperation. That works.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So desperation is kind of rolling off of him.
Oh yeah. And but it's also the air around everyone has taken the same color as Avix's desperation. It's almost like the very air around you is pushing for the same angle to be taken, for that emotion to be followed.
Oh, she's gonna take a second and kind of look back. I suppose that's fine.
Besides, for where we're going, we need a vibroplane, not thermite.
She'll look back at Exarchun. I suppose we could do that. Apologies.
No, please. It is simply a 2-week trip to Coruscant, 2 weeks back. I'm sure Master Jeth and I will still be here. I look forward to continuing our conversation, and you see him reach out to hold your hand. It's been enlightening so far.
Yes, it has, of course, and I look forward to continuing our conversation as well.
But he takes his place next to Arca Jeth, and Ulick and Keokiodroma will step over to your side, where your group is kind of on the other side of the Queen. All right, well, whenever you guys are ready to go, I think we're good.
Sure.
And Silas steps over to Master Jeth's side of this. I'll be here just in case things take you to the prison. Like I said, the less I see of the inside of a prison, the better I feel.
Suppose that is fair. Nora, who will be piloting our craft since we don't have the robot and we don't have
pilot?
Neb? Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and Kay holds up his hand. I've been doing most of the piloting. I've been learning from Master Jeth, so I'm okay with it.
Oh, perfect. That should be good then. Okay.
And Ulick, as you're walking back towards the starport, is just like, our ship isn't as armed as yours. We only have the one turret. So hopefully we won't need to get into any kind of scraps. But Master Jeff has invested a lot in the engine, so it's got a bit to give.
Give me an afternoon with them. They'll be together in no time.
I'm actually fairly good with a turret if we do need it. Hopefully we don't.
Excellent. Yeah. And you start walking back to, the starport, and you come over to the Lightside Explorer. You can see Nora's ship, the Sunrise Crescent, kind of sitting there. The workers have put it up on a winch. They've lifted it up. Droids are running back and forth. Pieces are being brought, and they've started to take off the jangled landing gear.
Well,
Avex is going to wander over to the ship and try and make sure that the repaired but not fully in the same way droid still makes it with us.
Oh, you're going to take Prague?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Bring Prague along.
It waddles down the ramp. I was wondering when you would be returning. I am glad for your safety.
If Nora can go in, she's gonna grab some stuff.
Oh yeah, you guys got time. Whenever you're ready, Ulick and Kay will fire up their engines and take off.
Avex only has like one bag of things that he's collected on his travels, so he grabs that and maybe makes sure that if there's extra med kits, he can grab one or two and puts it in his bag and takes them there.
I think Nev is going to do a similar thing he did with the Sunrise Crescent, with the Lightside Explorer. Just kind of yell the ship out.
Okay. There's a lot of love in the ship. There's a lot of light side energy that just resides in the ship itself. It almost is a welcoming sensation. The ship feels like several Jedi have walked its halls. Not just Master Jeff, because it's his ship, but students have come and gone. Knights have used it for transportation. And even now that you're inside of it, the outside to you was very reminiscent of several times just kind of being in one of the landing fields on Ossus. It was a staple of several of the kind of times that you would look out over the courtyard just to see who's here and who's arriving or who's leaving. But yeah, Master Jeff, the last time he was in Ossus was maybe 2 years ago when he was assigned Ulick and Keiko-Droma.
I think Nev is actually going to try to purposely call on the Force this time instead of more the reflexive stuff he tends to do, and see if the two knights make notice.
If they do, they don't address it. Ulick is definitely kind of sitting in the cargo containment, the cargo bay, just practicing with his lightsaber off. But you can see him kind of moving through motions of what looks to be a kata of some sorts. Kay is more kind of running back and forth between the cockpit and the engine room. And every so often, if he bumps into you, like he'll apologize. He'll try to let you get past first if it's a tight hallway, things like that. Depending on where he is, he might stop as you pull on the Force, but he doesn't. Neither one of them will draw attention to it. Everybody else in your crew will feel Nev pull on the force.
Can you treat this ship like you did the Sunrise Crescent?
That's the plan.
Good. She deserves it.
Every ship does.
Does everybody have what they want to take from the Sunrise Crescent?
Yeah.
Get a data pad for like a journal, supplies, basic supplies, and I think it'd be good.
Okay. Nora, you just wanted your staff?
She's getting a staff, a knapsack with a journal, so she can like write her thoughts.
Mhm.
And she's gonna bring her mom's lightsaber.
Okay.
She's gonna hide it in her knapsack, and she's just gonna pull on the force as she leaves to summon up like a small rock or something like that, just to do something she used to do as a kid and just levitate it in her hand, just
Yeah.
to feel better.
You look out over the kind of barren field outside of this castle, outside of this walled city, and there's a moment where you remember that feeling on Orax, and you reach out, and there's a small stone, one of 3 or 4 dozen in the field, that just comes kind of calling as you pull onto it. It just answers whatever need you are asking for. What would it look like if Nora had eyes? Describe the stone to us.
Whew. Her mother's favorite stone was opal. And she always told her it was something of the most purest of all the stones. And she would describe it and explain it to her. And she would feel her mother's stone collection. If she was really good with her training that day, they would go over the different semi-precious stones she had. And opal was always her favorite. It was this smooth, but it sometimes had like wavy lines in it. And it made it feel like you were on the ocean, or made it feel like you were close to the water. And it just had this pure sense of purpose, like her mom.
You pull it up into your hand, and it feels smooth. It feels like it's been eroded by centuries of waves kind of rolling it around, swishing it through. And as Avix walks by you, he'll feel you pull on the force when you pull it towards you, kind of holding it in your hand. And Prague will step around and go, "Oh, you have found the noble. That is fortuitous. It was your mother's favorite." And you just hear it waddle up the ramp onto the Lightside Explorer.
Okay, I need a drink. I need a strong drink. I need it now. Please tell me the Jedi have alcohol.
You can go looking for it. You're not going to find a lot of it.
I just need a small drink. This is fine. She'll just go up, letting the stone just kind of like float in her hands, and she'll do mind things with it.
Yeah. And the Keldroma brothers lead you around the ship. They show you where some of the what would be considered a crew quarters is, where their guests kind of stay. There's 6 bunks, 3 bunk beds basically. And then they take off and they start their trip to Coruscant. It's 2 weeks time to go to the core worlds. Gives you some time to kind of chit chat with Ulick and Keiko. Both of them are huge fans of Exar Kun. Ulick more than Kay. Kay will confess that there's something about Exar Kun that doesn't sit right with him. Like no Jedi should live in a constant state of readiness. But
Hearing that Avix is going to more hang around the crew he knows and Kay and kind of try not to be too near Ulick.
It fits because Kay is the technical one of the two of them.
Mhm.
So he's always kind of like either in the cockpit or in the engine room or running maintenance, making sure the ship is running tip-top shape. Ulick is usually in his room or checking the turrets or in the cargo bay, just kind of going through the motions. And you'll also find out that for all the duels that Ulick Qel-Droma and Exar Kun have had together, he's never been able to beat him since he fashioned his double-bladed lightsaber.
Synthresia would be just absolutely hungry for anything that they have around Exar Kun, around the Force, because she's got an aunt to impress, and she's terrified of not being accepted, and but she really enjoyed the way that Exar Kun was more open to things like that. She would sort of test both of them, see if they're okay with that kind of conversation first, and if they were, then she would go back and forth philosophically.
Kay would steer you away from that and talk about Master Jeth more. If you tell them who your aunt is, they would tell you about the interactions they've had with her, how she has been a fantastic teacher whenever they've sat in on lessons with her. Hanging out with Ulick, though, Ulick will share with you his holocron. He has a holocron that was a gift to him that he keeps and will study from whenever Master Jeth kind of gives him time off. So Ulick feels like he is the Deku from My Hero Academia of Jedi. Like he wants to be the very best, like no one's ever been. But he is just kind of limited by the amount of teaching that Master Jeth deems appropriate to them. And so he's gone out of his way to find a second teacher. And we never established how or if at all a Miraluka can see holograms. So let's build some canon here. How would, if at all, do you think Synthracia could see the hologram of this Jedi Master? Otherwise, do you just hear the voice?
I think that the projection of energy would create some impression, but it would be very vague. Like when they're looking at a screen, there's something there, but they still need to use, text to speech because you can't read it.
Yeah.
In the same way, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
In the same way, I would say that it's very vague impression. Like there's like a figure of some kind, but other than that, like it's unreadable.
I would say depending on the projection, actually. So if this is a Jedi Master, were there any feelings that they were feeling at that time? Were they using the Force at that time? If they were doing that while they were making the hologram, I would say the emotion around would help to fill in at times different aspects of the hologram. And if they were using the Force or they were very forceful, they would see that outline they wouldn't see like the exact hologram, but they'd see the outline of the hologram and then whatever emotions were going on at the time of that recording.
Oh yeah, it'd almost certainly be very strange because normally holograms are very, very close to invisible, but because of the unique,
I like that. I like that.
Don't they?
They do.
So they can hear.
They do. So they'll hear it. That's my concern. Is like whether or not Synthracia or Nora could even use a hologram to its fullest potential, because some of these lessons require visualization.
I'd say the unique nature of a holocron makes it significantly more visible to a Miraluka.
Yeah, I like the idea that in a regular kind of discussionary use of a holocron, like when it's introductory, when it's walking from one lesson to the other, like the hologram does become kind of almost invisible to the Miraluka.
Indistinct, yeah.
But during a lesson, once the kind of force muscle is used, the dynamic creation of what a holocron is and what it represents, I think would capture that as well. And so I think those are the moments where it becomes incredibly awe-inspiring to someone like Synthracia, to someone like Nora, that even in the absence of that sense, the force makes up for it. So I like that. I like that. If he shows it to you, a lot of the discussion that happens is to nothing. There's vague outlines here or there, but the voice is very clear. It sounds very much like a tempered older gentleman. And once he gets into one of the lessons that he's talking about, like moving things and how size doesn't matter and how everything is mental, then you will see the outline of this older, bearded gentleman who has an entire kind of wrapping around the top part of his head. There is this long hair that comes down on either side of his shoulders, like this cascade of hair that comes down to about like right above the pectoral midway point. And you know intrinsically that this is some historical Miraluka, some person that shares a lineage to you, and they're talking about the Force in almost the same way that magic was taught to you. There's a reverence to it. There's an acceptance of there is a higher power, and the Force is what guides everything to its inevitability. Everything starts with the Force. Everything ends with the Force. And Jedi are the few and fortunate that are not stones in this river of Force energy. They're not being eroded by whatever this journey has planned for them. They're active participants. They're fish. They're the ones that help guide the course of the river, that break off into tributaries when necessary to push stones to other portions of the river. They're the ones that have an active role in pushing destiny. And Ulick has this moment where he's very open with you about how he prefers this Jedi's teachings to Master Jeth, only because this feels right. This way of thought of the Force feels right to him.
That would have a pretty profound effect on Synthracia. There was a certain amount of philosophical misunderstanding in how she believed that Jedi were reductive, but hearing it in this way from this individual, I think would have a pretty fantastical effect. Like, okay, that's how they see it and why they see it, and and what it means and how it affects things. And there's a reverence for how profound the basic beliefs and how similar they are to her own about magic and the primal nature, the unknowable, unthinking river that must be, maneuvered or controlled or pushed, that affects everything else inside of it. That I think that she would really latch on to.
Okay.
She's rapt at attention every time this thing is open, and she would spend a lot of time on this trip around it.
Okay. 2 weeks come by almost in a flash. I think for some of you, it's much faster than for others. For Synthracia, for Nev, and for Avix, the 2 weeks go by almost in the blink of an eye. For Nora, it's completely different. What's weighing on Nora?
Pull me out like this. Damn. A lot of shit.
Go to
Mostly
see.
she won't.
Are you talking to Prague at all, or are you just letting it
Bits and
exist
pieces.
in your same area?
No, she's gonna do a lot of meditation back from when she was a Padawan to her mom.
Okay.
A lot of the telekinesis working with that. But she's actually gonna ask one of the guys, to help her with her staff, and if somebody would try and train her with the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Because she's got one.
Yeah. If you
She'll start learning how to use it.
Yeah, if you reveal that you have a lightsaber, either one of them will gladly teach you. And both of them have a very separate, very different take on lightsaber combat.
She'll take both.
Yeah, Kay is very defensive. He almost is in the same camp of Jedi that would kind of follow in Obi-Wan's footsteps, very much in the camp of Chisho, before it's even like set in stone as a form, whereas Ulick is much more aggressive. I think the fifth form is the aggressive form, and he is, if not a master of it, he is definitely the strongest you've seen in a long while. But when you get to Coruscant, there is a small procession of Republic guards surrounding a gentleman in the senatorial garb. There is a older looking Twi'lek. He's got the kind of lithe frame, very kind of purplish, almost dark blue skin, this kind of sharp but well manicured beard of red hair that stands out against his skin color. And the Jedi robes, the white and grays of a Jedi, the lightsaber hanging from his belt. And as you land and descend from the ship, if I could have Nev describe what his father looks like.
You will see an older gentleman, probably late 50s. He's kind of got the blonde turning to gray. It's much shorter than Nev's hair. It's just as spiky, though. You'll see he kind of has crow's feet on either side, a full beard, goatee. He's significantly taller than Nev. Like, he crests like 6'7". He is a giant of a man in his own right. He has a look of determination and endless empathy.
And he is the first to step forward past all the Republic guards and past the Jedi protector that he has, and he holds out his hands mostly to Nev, but there's a sense that he is welcoming the entire group as he smiles and just kind of takes in a deep breath as he kind of locks eyes with Nev and says, "Welcome to Coruscant. I look forward to whatever road this takes us on." And I think this is a good point to call it for tonight. So I will call the disembodied voice of Shanky McStabber down from the ether or up from the lower levels of Coruscant, whatever it takes.
He's around somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think. I don't know.
There he is.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight to watch Star Wars, and of course, thank the players for being here. If you'd like to join us on our Discord, so you know, this show was cast from the Discord, and as of right now, there is an open casting call for a vampire game that probably is going to be closing on Monday, because we've got a number of people who applied, so rather than keep it open for a whole month, we'll probably close it Monday. So if you're on the Discord or you want to join the Discord and want to play with us at a table, there's a vampire casting call open right now, just so everybody knows. Of course, we also do community hangouts every once in a while. Speaking of which, when this stream ends tonight, we'll be doing a Zoom hangout with the community. After I get food in me, of course. Got to eat first. But, join us on the Discord. If you want to see back episodes, pop over to our YouTube. Astral beat me to it, but it's okay. Pop over to YouTube. You can catch all the back episodes of the Star Wars game, our World of Darkness content, all of our back stuff. We've got pretty much everything covered. But if you want to see Call of Cthulhu or D&D 5e, pop over to the Ishfel and you can check that out. You want to see our friends? We have friends here. Two of them are at this table right here. One is Ravnos Archon, and I'll give him a chance to say what he's doing out there. And then, of course, the RPG table, which is Junie down there. And we'll come back to that in a bit here. You want to get you some studio merch? We've got McStabber Studio merch. Please sign in if you go to look at the merch, because a number of things are adult only, probably because it has things like Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would, Camp Counselor t-shirts. So, you've got to be signed in for that. If you want to give something to the players, bits and donations that go to the players, not to the studio. It's a way for the viewers to give something to the players. But if you want to give to the studio, subscribe on Twitch. Twitch will take half. You can pop over to our KoFi and you can donate there for the studio. Or, of course, you can always, if you're on YouTube, subscribe for free on YouTube, hit your notification icon, comment on the video, like the video, all that good shit. Schedule. Tomorrow, Tiss is back with Call of Cthulhu at 3 p.m. Eastern. Get you some Call of Cthulhu. Last week, they did the Cat Thulu, but this time it's humans. So we're past the Cat Thulu, who are already evil as hell. So you can get you some Cat Thulu. Sunday, there is no vampire stream because I'm taking a break this weekend. Of course, Sunday the 9th at 3 p.m. we'll be doing Bloodied Fields, but this coming weekend, no Windy City, no nothing, because Windy City's over and we're taking a break weekend. Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Vampire Dark Ages, Glimpses of History, run by the mysterious voice that's floating here with Ravnos Archon and Junie Von Escher in it. So, go check that out. It's a good stream. We're doing 800 years of Kindred history, and they're still in the year 1197. And now they know there's lupine lurking around their past that they're trying to build a fortress in. I'm sure there won't be any kind of bad things coming from lupine. No, of course not. And then, of course, next Friday, right back here at 8 p.m. for the next episode of Star Wars. I'm still waiting for the big plot twist murder scene to happen because it's a Ravnos Archon game, and that seems to happen. Yeah. I played
Not
Dune.
wrong.
I played Dune. I watched Mage. I know what happens. Don't give me that.
It's coming.
Yep.
It's coming.
So I'm going to go around the table so people can say if they're doing anything else around here. Let's start with Evie Eternal up there. You got anything going on?
Not a dang thing.
Other than hoping for Demon Season 3 to come back and
Yeah.
and maybe getting into the vampire game. We'll see. Cali Salvo, what you got going on?
I don't have any other games going on, but I am a mod over at the other Discord, which is where I found Shanky in the first place. It is the Discord of Mike Dunford, the Questionable Authority. He's a lawyer who talks legal topics and politics, and our Discord is full of legal nerds and lawyers talking about legal topics and politics. It's a fun time, and if you want to stay informed, it's a great place to be.
I've learned a lot of shit by hanging out over there, so just going to say that. Junie, why don't you let everybody know where you are?
Oh, on the internet. It's the easiest way to find me. Really. I do have a link tree. You can't find me on the Twitter, the Instagrams, maybe on a Tumblr too. But you can definitely find me here on Twitch, on my own channel, and on the RPG table. You can also find me here 2 nights a week. You can also find me on Roll Call. They're picking back up on Sundays, I think next week, because somebody's guest starring in there. I don't know who. Every other Thursday, you will find me on some incredibly great storytellers channel. I think it's like it ends or starts with an A or an R, something like that. I might be like in his game right now, and that's 7C. And then I'm also a mod on Cajun Knight's Discord. It's a play-by-post server for all of your World of Darkness needs.
And Nev, what about you? Let everybody know.
Hi there, I'm Zeus. I storytell over on Cajun Knights, where I specialize in Mage and Changeling. I am on the RPG table every Saturday night as Robin Bird, and I will be guest starring when Roll Call picks up as Antonio Valdez.
And finally, I guess we'll let Ravnos Archon talk.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm the Ravnos Archon. I have my own Twitch channel. I do Vampire 5th Edition on Mondays. We're taking a break right now on Tuesdays, but it used to be for Werewolf of the Wild West and Legend of the Five Rings. And every other Thursday, because I don't have a Thursday slot to run against it, I'm currently running 7th C. with a Duniper, a Puniper, Funiper, something Von Cage or something like that.
You're going to do that?
Yeah, turn the tables. That's what I do.
I mean, I was just being adorably cute.
So was I.
Yeah, we've got a lot of troublemakers around here, it seems. So
us?
Yes, you.
Never.
All of you.
Us never.
So pop over and see them. Of course, as always, when we end these streams, everybody, I have to say mental health. It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. I'd like you to take your mental health seriously and take mental health of others seriously. Please check in on those around you. People are very good at masking, and even when they're not doing well. So just reach out to them, be a lifeline, because sometimes that's all it takes. And it's important. And if you suffer from mental health issues like many people do, first of all, it's okay to not be okay. I want to put that right out. There's nothing wrong with admitting that sometimes you need help. We all need help. Nobody gets through life by themselves. Sorry to tell you this. And if you don't feel you can reach out to those around you, in chats, a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there'll be a professional on the other end of the line that can help you out and talk you through it. And of course, if you are not in the U.S., because we have a number of non-U.S. viewers, you can go to findahelpline.com, put in your country of origin, and you will find out the helplines in your country, because mental health is health, people. And whether you watch our streams or not, we want you to be around. So please take care of yourself. And since my lovely wife isn't here, I'm going to do her portion of the outro. Get your shots, get your vaccinations, please. Get that taken care of. If you're not registered to vote, please register to vote. And vote in every election. Every primary, local elections are just as important as national elections. Sometimes local elections are even more important. So please vote in all the elections. And I'm not going to tell people who to vote for, but I will tell you, look at the party who wants to ban books. Look at the party who wants to take away rights. Look at the party who looks at a subset of Americans as less than people. Vote against their ass. Look at the party who will take a whole bunch of PPP COVID relief funds, get those written off and forgiven, and then do everything they can to stop student loan forgiveness. You should know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't tell people who to vote for, but trans rights are human rights. Women's health and human health is a fundamental right, and you should not be voting for people who want to take all of those rights away from people. So said with love from the McStabbers. I do thank you all for coming. And remember, for those of you that are on the Discord, we will be doing a Zoom hangout here shortly after I eat. So get into that. And hey, we still got it. Happy Pride Month still. It's not over yet. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Good night.
Happy Pride Month.